We are live, which is very exciting. So today I am joined by Lisa Gorley from Broadbean and Alex Bennison from The Scoop. So today we're going to talk to you a little bit about how the lovely integration has happened between you guys, making it so much easier for the recruiters, which is what we love and what we're about, and making sure that they're really making their job adverts as attractive as they can be to get that really good top talent. So I'm going to hand over to you guys, and you're going to take us through a little bit of that journey and sort of the understanding about why the integration came about, but also how that looks like, what that means from a Scoop perspective, what it also means then as well from a coming back as a candidate perspective too. So I'm going to hand over to Lisa first. So Lisa, if you want to do a quick intro about yourself and give us a little bit of an overview about Broadbean, that would be awesome.
Okay, no worries. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Gorley with Broadbean. I've been just over 5 years with the company, and this year is actually Broadbean's 20th year in operation. So we were built originally as a multi-poster posting out to job boards, but since then we've obviously evolved and moved forward a lot, and things like integrations and different options for social media, company websites and lots of different things. So exciting times, celebrating, as I say, the 20th year, but also looking to the future in terms of what we can do more and what we can be doing to really just maximise the job advert, but also just everything day to day that a recruiter's doing, really.
Yeah, and for myself, I was going to say, yeah, hi, I'm Alex. I'm the founding director of The Scoop. The Scoop is an online digital platform for recruiters to be able to stand out and differentiate themselves in the market. But ultimately, it's a way of improving your outreach towards clients and candidates, really just spark a conversation and look a little bit different from the competition.
Which is absolutely essential, as we all know, because if you want to get the best talent, you've got to be a little bit different, have a different approach, isn't it? So, Lisa, do you want to kind of show us and give us a little bit more context about how the integration has all come about?
Yeah, absolutely. If I just share my screen, I should be able to see the Broadbean page. Come up, Charlotte. Can we see that okay?
There we go.
Yes, we can see it. Oh, it keeps dropping in and out. Sorry. Can we share again?
Maybe my Wi-Fi. Let's try and restart it. Just share that there. How's that?
Okay, let's switch it on. Okay, yeah, we're good to go.
Cool. So you can see the Broadbean sort of job posting form here, yeah?
Yeah.
So as I say, traditionally, we were all about posting to job boards. So rather than post onto each one individually, you could come into Broadbean and post to Total Jobs, CV Library, any of the others, I guess traditionally the bigger generalist job boards. But again, as we've moved through, we've also integrated over 5,000 channels across the world in terms of different job boards you post to. So you would select those job boards, and they would obviously then be posting as a very text-based job advert. So when you go on to Read or Total Jobs, you'll see a list of all of the jobs and just the text of what the job's looking for, the location, and so on. What we also found, and what we get again a lot from client feedback, is with the Scoop here, the new integration, what this is all about, as Alex said, is just optimizing that advert on your social media. So when you post to social media, for example, we've got Twitter here, one of the big bugbears then is it is just posting the text, the same as if you were on a job board, you've got the text, the integration and all of the details there. But with the Scoop added into here, what we can then do, if we just go to the next page, is to post to there as well as your main text that would go onto the job advert itself. So all we do is fill out all of the details here. We can see, because we've chosen to post to the Scoop, we've got the industries and all of the drop downs here that we would have on the channel directly. So the idea of that is exactly the same posting via Broadbean as it would be if you're on there direct, but it's much easier and quicker day to day for a recruiter to get this advert out and hopefully reach the best quality of candidates. Okay. In terms of the job advert itself, there are some tools we can pop in here into your Broadbean account that can help with it as well. The first one being the content grader here. So this is relatively new. this is something we've released just to make sure as a recruiter, I've put my job description in here. I might have copy and pasted it from the client's drop down of what they're looking for. Want to make sure there's no discriminatory language in there. Want to make sure it's gender neutral. There's nothing in there that could be, perceived to be defamatory or bad for your brand as an agency. Also, making sure we've got the keywords in the job advert. So that's the text side of things. And then all we would do is post that job to our job boards, but it's also then going to push across to the Scoop. And as I say, this is our newest integration. I'm going to hand over to Alex, and he'll then take you through how it works, how it looks once you've posted it from Broadbean onto your Scoop using that integration. So if I just stop sharing, hopefully that will pass that back to you, Alex.
Cool. I really, really like that, content thing that you spoke about there. It's so useful, I think, for recruiters. That really beneficial. Cool. So Alex, we get to screen share on your side?
Yeah, I think you should be able to select it now, should you?
Cool. Let's switch it on.
Oh,
we've entered the matrix there.
Actually, I just did a little search, and I think what we've been talking about, Lisa, is just obviously the way in which these job vacancies look when they get shared online. So once they're posted out, normally to a job board, you wouldn't really be able to see, but actually when it goes onto social media on LinkedIn, you can see really it's just almost like a broken link. And we all know that the reach of a post nowadays comes down to the amount of individual likes and comments that it gets. So if it's just a picture of a job title, how are you kind of going to expect a client or a candidate to go and engage with that post? So what you can do on the Scoop is that these profiles sit attached to your LinkedIn page and then are used on a daily basis by a recruiter to be able to go out and improve their outreach towards clients and candidates. And as the main integration with Broadbean is once the job vacancy then gets pushed out onto the profile for the Scoop, you can see there's a few different ways in which you can then go on and almost enhance those job vacancies. So the most simple way, you would have the job spec that comes through Broadbean. As we've already paid for the integration to happen, it wouldn't cost you any money to do that. What you can also see is that on top of job vacancies, you can also then start to attach video on top of the job vacancies. So rather than potentially recording 50 or 100 videos for each job vacancy that you record, ultimately you would just record one video.
It's Will from Alex7 here.
Sorry, Will, but you can see then you can then attach video as part of that vacancy. And then you can also then even attach video and password protect it. So what you could do is you could invite your client over a Zoom or Microsoft Teams, any type of video platform, record that call as almost like a video meet the manager. Don't think of it as a video job spec, almost just like a way to engage candidates by letting them hear it from the horse's mouth. But what we were saying is about the way in which these job vacancies look. If you go and grab that URL or click on the share button at the bottom, what you notice is as soon as I click share on that link, it's going to turn into an animated link preview, and then I can delete the URL, be like, we're hiring for ... and I'd post that out to my network. And the benefit being is that as all we're trying to do is stop someone scrolling as they're going through their activity feed. Everyone goes on LinkedIn just for a general scroll, but the idea is that all that someone needs to do is click on that image to take them through to the job vacancy. Now that is also the exact same if I grab that URL and I go and paste that into a private message on LinkedIn. As soon as I paste the link turns into an animated image. And that is also the same if I go into an email. What you'll see is that as soon as you paste in these links, I'll just create one for you there, Charlotte. You can see as soon as you paste in the URL for that job vacancy, the link preview loads just like it would do on LinkedIn. And then I could delete the URL. So essentially, you keep your emails nice, short, sharp, and concise. And all someone needs to do is click on that image to take them through to the vacancy. And then once the application comes through, essentially that would be what would come through back into Broadbean. And I'll be back to Lisa to just show you how it goes on.
Cool. I mean, they're so standout. I know for us, from especially that sort of email outreach perspective, we get a lot back from that. Like, it's a real differentiator. But keen to see what it looks like then once someone applies on the Broadbean side.
Yeah, so how we capture that. I think it's it's really cool where, like you say, you can send it as an active email. I think you mentioned, Alex, you can post it as a a message via LinkedIn as well with the video, and it'll pop up in the chat box there. So whichever of those options a candidate chooses to then apply to that job advert, their CV will flow back through the Broadbean system with the integration. So it makes it a lot easier to manage that. So if I just share my screen, and hopefully we can see the Broadbean responses area.
Get it switched on.
Yeah.
All right, good to go.
Lovely. So what you then have, again, as a recruiter day to day, what you want to see here when you come into your Broadbean is all of those applications. So you've had a really nice email sent out with your video link using the Scoop, the link that's posted there. Candidates then apply back in, and they'll come into your responses area in Broadbean here. So you will also have all of your applications from other job boards as well. So if they've come from a Reed CV library, and also direct from your company website. So it all flows into here. And what I can do to manage this more efficiently with some of the tools that we have available. So the first thing I can do is I can review all of my new candidates and new applications. So I have 211 responses here. I can then choose to review applications to a certain advert. So for example, if I'm doing a campaign, I want to post it via the Scoop, and I've done a certain advert and posted that out using that integration, I could have a look at all the responses that have come back in to that specific advert. I can review responses to absolutely everything. Now, to make this easier and again more efficient for me to then see where my good applications are, the first thing we can do here is to switch on our AI-powered ranking score tool. So what this will now do is, in the background, it will match the candidate's key skills on the CV and all of their application details to the role that they've applied for. So if they've got the right key skills, they've got all of the right sort of information CV that you're looking for, you're instantly going to have a candidate at the top. So you're going to see your best candidates, hopefully the good candidates that you've got through at the top of the list. If you then wanted to refine that down first, so for example, we've posted our Java developer role, it's gone out via the Scoop, we've sent that email campaign. We then need to see, for example, candidates who have a certain technology, perhaps a C#, something like that. I always do that sort of example. It's what I used to recruit for. But anything that you are looking for, whether it was construction, they need a CSCS card, you type those keywords in, and it will again then refine down your responses to only find applications that have what you need. I can also search on location. So if you want to see candidates who've applied from a certain catchment area, perhaps where our client is based, we can come into here and we can pop in a city, or we can search by postcode. So just really nice and quick and easy to review incoming applications. Have we actually got anybody here who fits what we need? And once we've done that automatic search here with the ranking, we can then start to refine it down. So it's all about getting to those best candidates first. So the candidate might have applied for different jobs, but they've come into you via here, and you'll be able to see straight away where their application sits. And we can see here just underneath, this will show us where that candidate has come from. So as I say, when you post via the Scoop, you then push that email out, you send it via a LinkedIn chat box. However, that candidate CV then is captured back through the Scoop, it will flow back into here, and you'll see it with the source code of the Scoop. So hopefully that makes it a bit easier for you as well in terms of being able to see the value add that you're having to the business. You can see how that compares in terms of looking at it against a traditional job board or a traditional text social media post.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest benefits to using Broadbean to be able to push those jobs out is not only does it then allow you to review the responses, but it will also then pass those applications back into the CRM as well. So ultimately, it's still adding to your ecosystem, just like it would do if they were applying to a job on your website, for example, as well.
Yeah, absolutely that. So with the different CRMs, the integrations we have are set up in various ways. But as you say, the crux of it is you can have these applications flowing back in straight through into your CRM and be able to then manage them, contact those candidates in future, market to them, and have them as part of your ecosystem, as Alex said. So the next part I want to show you on this as well, obviously we're looking here at a quantity of CVs, of applications, 326. As a business, what you want to do is to make sure that those job boards are working well for you, that you're getting good quality of applications. So what you would then do is you would come and use our reporting suite here. And this is how we track, as I say, the real sort of quality data in the reports we've got available. So I've pulled the flagging report here just with a bit of a broad spectrum of data. And what we get is the overview graph there with all of our different channels. But importantly, down here, all of your channels broken down. So in the test account, obviously we've got the Scoop account here. It's not live as yet. I'm not sure Alex wants me posting all of my demo test jobs onto his site, but we'll have the Scoop page here when it's set up in your Broadbean account. So the idea with that is you can come in and see in any given time frame, so what happened in a day, last week, last month, since day one of using Broadbean, this data is gathered. And we can see how many applications we're getting from the channel, and that's the number we get per advert. So for example, if we had the Scoop here, you'd be able to see posting a job there, we usually get 2 or 3 applications. I'm sure, Alex, you're going to tell me that actually it'd be much higher than that for the Scoop with the adverts there. It'd be interesting, obviously, to have a look at it broken down.
Yeah, I think as well, this is so important. So whenever I speak to people, you know, I talk to them about their tech stack and what's working for them. And, you know, we look at all manner of things. I emphasize so much around like letting data drive decisions. You know, that's really the best way to kind of overview as to what's working for your business, what isn't, and more importantly, to understand sort of why. So this area in particular, I think is really useful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, you know, if I had £1 for every client that said, we have a rough idea which job boards work for us, I think we get a lot of CVs from channel X or channel Y. But actually, as you say, getting into the detail of it can really help you to optimize that spend and make sure that your adverts are going to the right places. So if we go into the detail, what we can now do is get a lot more granular with this. So you can look at each office in your business, in that office, right down to individual level. So we can then come into here to make sure that Michaela, in this example, has posted her job and is actually getting applications back, because if she's posted all these adverts here, they're costing us money. Why haven't there been any responses? So then we question, as you say, are we making the right decisions in terms of the job boards that Michaela has access to? Or does she need some help in writing a better advert, making sure that that job goes out and it's more thorough and it's going to attract more candidates? Is it going out to the right places, essentially? Another thing we can do as well, just in terms of, again, tracking and making sure that we are getting the best from our advert, is to start to have a look each week at when candidates tend to apply. Alex, I'm not sure if it's something you've ever sort of looked into on the Scoop side of things, the patterns in terms of when it's busiest on the channels.
Yeah, from what I understand, it was always between between 10 and 11 or 2 and 3 p.m. I think it was the general times. But yeah, I'm sure you've probably got a lot more data behind that, actually. Yeah,
absolutely. And this is business specific. So I, as a recruiter or as a manager of a team or as a owner of a business, can come into here and see straight away in my different industries I recruit into, even into a specific job across the week, Monday through to Sunday, when should I be posting that job? When we then push that job from Broadbean here, when we post this job, we can actually schedule it to go live at that optimum time. So if we see here, this example, Tuesday, 11 a.m. So it kind of ties in with what you were thinking there, Alex. 11 a.m. is busy. We get a lot of applications and a real peak around that time. So we want to post that job. Maybe we do our admin on a Friday afternoon, but we post that job to go live on Tuesday at 11. So Broadbean will then hold it and push it out to all of your channels when candidates are most likely to be active. So again, with using the Scoop with Broadbean, you can start to use this each week to look at what days and times candidates are active and looking at your job, whether you've posted it straight onto the channel there or again pushed it out by email or whatever, when a candidate's likely to respond to that, and use that to push it out and make sure you optimize that advert at the best possible time, really.
Just regarding the kind of tracking side as well, as I know you've been using it, Charlotte, but obviously we've integrated lead forensics into Scoop as well. So on top of posting jobs out, you then, if you know lead forensics, the world's leading website tracking and generation tools, you get it free of charge with the Scoop, and essentially it will start to feed back data about the names of the businesses who are interacting with your profile, who's clicking on the links, where they've come from, and you see all the demographics and data that goes with it as well. So yeah, just a little bit more on the tracking side of things.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think using them in conjunction is going to be really powerful.
Definitely, because it's all about optimizing the tech that you have. You know, if someone's going to make an investment in their technology, it's all about optimizing it and using it the best way possible. So the more information you have, the better you can utilize the tool, you know?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think it, as I say, it ties in so nicely to what the Scoop and what Alex is looking to do, with just really making sure that every penny you spend on an advertising budget, you get a return for it, and you're essentially, you know, succeeding as a business and doing well in the recruitment world. It's not an easy job, as we all know.
No, it's not. And especially nowadays as well, with the recruitment market coming back pretty strongly, you know, it's even more important than ever right now. You know, we're moving into our space is always sort of candidate short, but multiple recruiters that I've spoken to, it's getting tighter and tighter. So having those key differentiators to get really good candidates is going to be essential, I think, for this next while. I mean, essential always, but even more so at the moment.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, look, guys, it's super awesome to get an overview of all of that. And I know a lot of our guys and a lot of the guys on the Mastermind and the Dinghy obviously use both of your products and have really, really shouted about how great the integration is. So it's fantastic to be able to see it. So do you want to give a little bit of an overview about how people can connect with you if they're interested to find out a little bit more?
Yeah, sure.
We'll do Lisa first.
Yeah. I thought that was what you're pointing at me. So you can obviously jump onto the Broadbean website, and there's a form there to book a demo. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I can drop my LinkedIn profile into the chat if that's the easiest. In the private chat, that'll just reach the stream, won't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So the best way to do that then, as I say, connect with me on there, or just give me a call if you need any more details. Charlotte has them. They're on the RecWired website, all of the information there. So anyway, any which way really, I'm always around.
Cool. And Alex, what about you?
Yeah, likewise. If you were to go on the Scoop on the front end, thescoop.co.uk, you see on our About Us page, there's a load of links on there that you can either book in a demo, or I'm quite active on LinkedIn, obviously, and drop me an invite, and we can always connect up on there.
Perfect. And both of you guys, both of you are going to be at the drinks at the Agency Recruitment Expo, aren't you? Which is happening on Wednesday, 6th of October. So if you are planning on coming along to the Agency Recruitment Expo and you want to do a little bit of networking, we have a space booked at the Highline Lake Lounge in the casino from 6 o'clock, very kindly sponsored by Broadbean Technology as well. So it'd be awesome to come along and do some networking. So we'll put out a link as well to that event, and it'd be a great chance for people to meet you and pick your guys' brains.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Well, look, I'll wrap us up there for today, but thank you so much, guys. That's been really good, and no doubt I will see you again soon.
No doubt. Thanks very much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.